Check it, check it, check it, check it.
Sit back and enjoy the ride, boys.
I make no promises. No.
Really?
All right, this is our soft opening. Got a couple of minutes here to, wake up. Clear the fog, as it were.
Whoa.
Hi, Dr. Dave. You working hard today?
I worked my butt off today. It was a great day. Great day in the office.
Great day to be Dr. Dave.
Yeah, it was great to come down back from North Carolina on my vacation, where the weather reminded me why I left the area.
Yeah.
Okay, it was cold, wet, and windy, miserable, and just, then you come back to Florida.
It looks like there's another a second wave coming right behind the snowstorm up there, too. It's like, have fun.
Sucks to be them.
Well, it's not exactly pleasant right now, but...
No, it's great. Are you kidding? I am wearing socks today.
Me
Only
too.
because I'm kind of used to it. After the past 4 days,
Hey, Linda.
we slept. Tess and I slept in our clothing in that.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah, I mean, it was when we got there that the cabin was not quite freezing. I think it was 40 degrees. It's a little bit cool for a Floridian.
Whose idea was it to go to the hills of North Carolina?
It wasn't mine.
In January.
However, I won't say whose idea that it was, but it was her birthday,
Oh.
so she got to choose where we go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so Lizzie kind of picked the topic tonight, but it's.
What is the topic tonight?
Yeah, exactly. Lizzie,
What?
What the hell is the topic tonight?
What is the
You
topic?
didn't know?
No, I never look.
Second round of COVID vaccinations and what to expect.
Okay, which is great because I got my second vaccination today, so I will tell you what I'm experiencing.
But you gotta wait.
Yeah, you don't.
We're only
What?
soft
Oh,
opening.
Soft opening.
Yeah, don't
Take
shoot
it
the
down a
wad
notch.
right
You get
now.
so
Hold it.
excited.
He really did.
Oh,
my goodness! I'm gonna share. See. All right, 20 seconds till you can shoot the old wad there. Or
there
whatever
you
it
go.
is. Yeah.
Hey, it's usually good for 20 seconds.
That's about right.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I didn't realize everybody knew that.
no, it's really an average, and
Is it really?
It is a big problem,
Oh,
and
then I'm
not
gonna-
happens to everybody. And what?
'Cause that'll be another show because
Everybody.
I got an answer for that one.
All right, hang on a second. I'm just copy and paste.
Copy,
Share if you
paste.
care.
Live from the Connections Studio Suites, it's Connections. Connections is relationship radio.
Well, hey, y'all, and welcome to the show. It's Melissa Fox along with her pal, Lizzie Said What? And, of course, our favorite doctor, Dr. David Klein. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Tonight we're talking about what's on everybody's mind, and that happens to be COVID-19, the vaccines, and the booster shot. Dave, welcome to the show.
It is good to be here.
Now, the last time you were here, funny as it may be, and maybe it was the time before, but you and Lizzie, I was like, made you scoosh close.
Oh
into
yeah,
the
we were
picture.
sitting. We were literally rubbing elbows.
Right.
Well, Tess she got a little bit jealous. Of
A
this
little
after
bit,
that.
and then so she gave you COVID, is what happened, and then
No, actually, it was a different disease she gave me, but that's another matter. I got to thank
So-
Shrek because he.
Yes.
yeah. So anyway,
For
so
sharing.
I
Right.
jammed these two together a couple of weeks ago, and then literally, I think it was a day later, and it's like I have tested positive for the
That was
vid.
that was 4 weeks ago.
Yes, I know. It was a couple
That
of
was,
shows ago.
yeah, so it was quite funny because I'm sitting there the whole time. Whenever I get, Dr. Dave's wife, Tess, texts me and she goes, "Hey," and I could hear it in the text. "Hey, I'm sorry, but
Just want you
we
to
may have
check."
COVID, and
Because our PCRs are both positive.
and it was funny because we were sitting so close I could taste your cough drops while you were
Really?
talking,
Oh.
and the whole time I'm like,
I hope it was good.
they were,
They
yes,
were. Well, I
very
mean, you guys
impressive.
were that close. You were so close that Dr. Dave was playing with your headphone wire.
That wasn't a headphone wire.
Yeah, well,
It looked like a
That's what
headphone
it
wire.
looked like.
okay. But anyway, yeah, so then like a day later, we get those texts. Hey.
So what the heck are we talking about tonight?
Well, tonight, what are we
Second
talking about?
No,
round.
so anyway, you were sitting next to her. You were all bragging out that you had just gotten your first COVID shot.
Yeah.
And this was 4 weeks ago. Now, first of all, the vaccine is out and about. They're
Yes.
bringing doses into Florida every day, and soon everybody will have one, except maybe the prisoners in Gitmo.
Yeah, actually, I think Biden wants them to go first.
Oh, I don't
I'm not
understand.
really sure
How
why.
do you get
The
COVID in Gitmo?
beats me, but the experimental phase for this is over. I can understand doing it while we're experimenting.
Right, just in
That
case we
makes
lose a
sense.
few. Yeah.
Yeah, but now that we no longer need to experiment, I think we need to do it on other prisoners.
So you had your booster shot for the vaccine today.
Yeah.
All right. Now Lizzie is concerned that people aren't going to go back and get their second shot,
Right.
or that they don't know what to expect.
Oh, fair enough.
Well,
okay.
I was kind of concerned because I have heard from people who work at a hospital in Central Florida who the nurses went and got their second shot and they got really sick the next day. And my dad has his second round coming, and my dad's old and I'm already scared.
I
and
know
don't
your
wanna-
I know your dad.
know my dad.
Okay,
He's
your
done his
dad.
nails.
Your dad is going to go okay and get it done
Fine,
and not
here.
complain about it. Now, when are you most likely to call in sick after getting the second COVID vaccination? And that's if you have a job with sick
With
days.
sick days?
With sick days. Oh, I'm
What?
going to get paid to stay at home. That's what it's all about. I am terribly sorry, but I've been giving shots and getting shots for the better part of 40 years. When I was in the military, we would line people up. We didn't ask them to take the
No.
day off, tomorrow.
Oh, no.
No,
Suck it up,
no.
deal with
If you weren't pulling up your shirt, you were dropping your trowel for
And
these
half
things.
the time you didn't even know what you were walking through the door for.
No.
They just grab, here you go, soldier.
We're not going to tell you.
Whoa.
Why would we? I was a hospital. I was what they call a reserve hospital commander, Bethesda, right? So we had thousands of people that we had to treat. When I was at Andrews Air Force Base, there were 4,000 people I had to take care of. I'm not going to waste my time explaining, well, this one here is for yellow fever, and this one is... No, it's just pull up your arm, boom, sign here.
I just remember standing in lines and getting shot either in the shoulder, the
Shoulder, the arm, or the hip.
ass. Yeah.
Right, that's the way it goes. And nobody whined. Actually, people did whine
People
about
did
it.
whine.
They did whine, okay? However, not like nurses do. I've never seen anything like
They're
it.
tough cookies, but
They're
they're
not
also the
tough.
hardest
Oh.
patient. I mean, in that sense, they're the hardest
Well, they're
patient
like,
to
yeah,
deal
yeah.
with.
Usually medical, yeah.
As soon as you have to do anything, and doctors aren't a lot better.
No,
okay?
oh no,
Yeah,
y'all
but
are
they're
pains.
As soon as you're on the receiving end of something, it becomes a very different issue. Well, what I will tell you, okay, now I got the first one, and my arm ached. It felt a little bit like a flu shot, or it felt a little bit like a tetanus shot, or it could have felt a little bit like any one of 100 other ones that I've ever received. It doesn't feel real good, but something, it didn't feel real bad either. So, you need to get it in your right arm, because if you get it in your left arm, they might think you're having a heart attack. That's the stupidest
What?
thing I've ever heard. Honest to God, I
Are
have
you
never
serious?
in my life heard such a variety of nonsense. And it's not just coming from the people that are out there.
You-
I've
the
heard it
ones
from
you expect it
No,
from,
I've
yeah.
heard it from the nurses too. So we were out getting Tessa's first shot. Okay, and so this gal, nurse, Department of Health nurse. Okay, and they can't all be as dumb as this one. But so in any event, so she goes, well, have you had COVID within the past 2 weeks? And the answer is no. We got over it we had it 3 weeks ago.
Right,
She goes, well, then you can't get the vaccine. I said, why is that? Well, because you can't have it within the last 2 weeks.
Get out
Okay,
of
well, let
here.
me ask you a question. Okay,
you
so if
the
we had
doctor?
it 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
okay, and now, when you can't get it within 2
That
weeks,
would be
how
2
is
weeks.
how is that 2 in your mind eye is greater than 3? It does not make any
Yeah,
sense.
that
So
was-
she had to go to a supervisor to explain to her that this was
to
actually
do
okay,
math.
to do arithmetic. Mathematics implies something a little bit different.
Okay.
So, and then she punished Tess by hammering that. That's going to cost me later. That's going to get me in trouble. Okay, by jamming her a little too hard with the needle. Okay, so you could see that there's anger behind that injection.
He's trying so hard to keep
So-
moving.
Yeah, there you go.
Just gonna
Well,
let him out
when I get home, I'm probably going to really have to move.
You think she's listening? No, she's
I don't
not.
think so. Well, she
No.
can't right now, can she?
No. Yes, on Facebook, but she's not on Facebook.
No, she doesn't
so
check
that's
Facebook. Are
fine.
you kidding? She won't touch Facebook on principle. Oh, she won't tell me what the principle is, but that's what she won't do. So I got the second shot today. Okay, and many of the people there were recognizable because they were there for 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, I was
4
gonna
weeks
say,
ago,
it
and I had
should
done
have been
before.
the same crew,
I was the
pretty
only
much.
person there that didn't have a cane, a walker, or a wheelchair. Now, what does that tell me? It tells me something very
That your
important.
health is good at your age.
No, what it tells me is that while people of this age, they can't figure out technology. These
That's
folks
not-
figured it out just
Well,
fine.
and a lot
you know?
of people did have their youngins, grandkids, or,
then
or
they
adult
used-
children help out, but they use, by extension, it takes a village.
They used their resources.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, if you have a cell phone, you can access this stuff. You have to have something that comes as an option with a cell phone. Okay, and that option is motivation.
Pegged her with the old vaccine, did she?
Yeah, you have to be motivated. You have to want this. So
Go and
there are
get it.
many people that are just not motivated enough to figure it out. So Tess went online and she got her mom signed up for it. Ben, my IT guy, got a number of our PAs and MAs signed up for it. Okay, because he just did it. That's what he wanted to do, and that was fine by me. But the fact is, you have to be motivated because these vaccines sell out quickly.
Sure.
The price is right. It's called zero.
Right.
And so you just have to show up, but you also have to hustle a little bit to get the reservation for it.
Right. Once you get there, it's really, at least Seminole County. Now, I can't speak for Orange.
Seminole County.
Seminole's got it working like a Chick-fil-A at lunchtime.
Unbelievable. You go to Chick-fil-A at lunch, and they've got 2 lines around
That's
the
right.
block.
And they've got someone taking your order on a pad and shooting it back to the kitchen
You-
before you ever get to the drive
Right.
box. Mm-hmm.
You go next door to any one of the other ones, and it looks like Death Valley.
The guy that runs Chick-fil-A, actually, one of them, he went and got with some of the COVID vaccination places in order to show them how to expedite.
Yeah, you can.
Are you being serious?
I am totally serious.
Are you making this
Well,
up?
here's
I
the
am
deal.
not.
Have you ever tried to teach anything to a Fed or a state employee? It doesn't
Yeah,
work.
that's useless.
It's useless. Okay, because their job is to get in late, leave early, and take at least 2 smoke breaks. So and I used to be a Fed. I collected a federal paycheck for a long time, and it used to really aggravate me. Because if you have much motivation, you feel like you're being punished for it. So, we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes of this in just a few minutes after these important announcements.
Yeah, you're listening to Connection Show. How you doing? It's Melissa Fox along with hashtag Lizzie said what? We got Dr. David Klein with us. He is our major sponsor from Stages of Life Medical Institute. Check out Stages of Life Medical Institute.com, and also check out the Stages of Life radio show Sunday afternoons at 4 on News Radio WFLA Orlando. We'll be right back with Morons. That's us.
Connections is relationship radio.
Oh my goodness, that's it? We're just back like that without anything crazy to help us out? Hold on, I know, right? Let me find one of these.
Yeah, a little something
Carry
musical.
the tea.
It's a little dry.
Let's see it. It's a little dry.
little
Just
musical.
a little. Let's do this right here.
Apparently, we're not TV pretty.
I am.
Oh, we're terrific.
Laugh with Connections, weeknights at 10 Eastern on the Connections Radio Network at connectionsshow.com.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, the website's always running. Oh, and we're just on a roll
You're
now.
listening to Connections.
Thank you. Really?
Yes.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. You start these things.
sorry.
It was a little dry, and now look what happened. Now we're just going to run
Overboard.
sweepers for an entire 10 minutes.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to Connections. We're talking about the COVID-19 inoculation, the vaccine, and basically the second shot, which Dr. David Klein has taken today.
Lead from the front.
Well,
Right.
Gee, Dr. Klein, are you really going to get this? Yeah, why wouldn't I? I'd like to travel. I'd like to be able to leave the state and come back in without going into quarantine.
Well,
I would really like to make sure my business survives. Yeah, I'm going to get it.
Okay.
with the second round, this is what my concern was, is besides the fact that, like I said in the first segment, but I've heard that if you have the one, you'll have major side effects if you have the other one, as you're, because there's different brands
There's
of
really
the second.
no difference
There's no
between
difference.
the Moderna and the Pfizer
Then how are people-
vaccine or the second shot.
Then why are people saying that if they got like the A, if they got A vaccination
Because
to,
they want to mess with you.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
fear
people
is
need to go on.
fun.
yeah. There's some zit-faced kid sitting in some mommy's basement typing this
Typing
stuff
on
up
Reddit.
just to see what they can do.
James, stop.
What I'd like to do, Okay, and I'm going to make this proposal on air, which means it'll probably get laughed at. However, I'm going to do it anyway, and that would be to have a contest. We'll ask Bud Hettinger to do a contest, and we're going to give a list of the most common and interesting, theories as to why you shouldn't be doing this. Okay, and then you get to call in. You get to text in what your excuse
I'm
for not
afraid
doing this.
I'm going to grow a third arm, Doc.
Yeah,
But do you know
I'm
how much
afraid.
more work you would get done if you had a third arm?
No kidding. If I had a third
I
arm,
could
I don't know
control
what
it.
I would do.
Probably just like be slapped
Yeah,
in the face. And
you know. So
stuff.
the conspiracy theories. So So are you one of the ones? Is your favorite one that everybody's going to die in a year? If that's the case, then I would go to your broker, your
Right.
stockbroker, and short living.
Yeah.
Right. You sell life short.
Short.
Don't buy. Borrow long on your house. I mean, there are a lot of things you could do if you really believe that these things were true.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, and I get stuff every day, Doc. From listeners and pushing the conspiracy theories about the
They just love 'em.
vaccines. Pushing, 20 people have died. Even if 20 folks have died from, whatever complications from an inoculation, which is
Not likely, but okay.
it's still a percentage. It's
Yeah,
so
Okay.
let's understand
small.
how this works.
Yeah.
Okay, you get COVID, and I got COVID. Let me tell you how much fun that was. Okay, I am a workaholic. I like going to work. I like seeing patients, and I got stuck at home.
Yeah.
Now I was stuck at home not because I wanted to be there, but because I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Sick.
felt awful. Now I have had all kinds of illnesses over the years. I have worked through them. It's just the way things go. I remember being at Naval Hospital Bethesda with influenza, carrying an oxygen tank behind me, seeing my patients on rounds because I wasn't going to let some yahoo see my patients for me, knowing full well that the replacements were just not even worth having.
atrocious.
Not worth having.
Right.
So I felt awful. My wife Tess is still feeling bad from it. You feel weak. You feel miserable. She can't smell or taste anything. Now, for a cook, that really sucks. And I will tell you, as a husband, it really sucks because she can't taste the food before it gets put in front of me. And so, God bless her. I've got to be careful what I say and what I do. But it's crippling.
Woman.
Well, think about this. Not
This
being
is
able,
bland.
not being able to smell smoke. Okay, I'm a fire phobe. Okay, not being able to smell smoke sucks. I'm in a cabin in North Carolina woods, and we turn up the propane tank, which sits in front of a couch. Okay, this is like
Ouch.
fire waiting to happen. So Tess says, "Well, can you smell smoke?" I said, "Not right now. I can't."
That's the wrong thing.
So this can be crippling. If you like certain types of foods, if you like any kind of food.
When I had influenza before and very badly, I lost my sense of taste and smell for about 6 months.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not a lot of fun.
No, it's not fun. I mean, the first I noticed was when I ate a McDonald's French fry, and you know how they have that specific taste to them, and I was like,
Did it taste like socks to you?
yeah, it's
Old
something
socks.
like old socks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. So I took her to a fancy restaurant for her birthday.
Oh.
Okay, great, nice glass of wine. I didn't buy a bottle because I knew it would be a problem.
Yeah, it'd be a waste.
She goes, this tastes like old socks. It was some of the best mountain trout I've ever had in my life. It's just one of these kinds of
Yeah,
things.
but it
So
does come back around. The other thing you'll notice is Doc's voice is a little bit different.
It's a lot different. Okay, it's raspier.
You're
It's,
trying to push still. Be
yeah,
careful.
it is not a lot of fun.
It'll take a while to come back.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the way it goes. I'm sucking on one of these little lozenges
Keep it going.
to keep me from coughing.
Have you found anything that's kind of, now that you've been through this?
Oh, I've got some cool things to treat it if you
yeah,
get it.
yeah. I mean, what's something that you suggest?
Okay, I have a list of things. Now, why did I make this list? Because I
Good.
wanted to do it while it was fresh, and I've got 2 PAs that work with me. Okay, and they do arguably the lion's share of the work around there. Because I'm 67 years old, I am tired sometimes, and they're much younger. Okay, and you kind of have to teach, but that's fine. So I put the list of things together so that if somebody calls in with documented COVID, these are the things that they have to have. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing left to chance. What if I'm not there? What if I'm on vacation? Which, by the way, just happened. I took 4 days off. So what do you do and what have I learned? What I learned was that you get aggressive with it early. You take something called lactoferrin-containing colostrum, which is gamma globulin, and it makes you feel better in about 30 minutes. You feel awful. Honest to God, you feel like death 30 minutes later, I don't feel too bad. Maybe I can go to work. You take the licorice root twice a day. So 4 times a day with the lactoferrin-containing colostrum, twice a day for the licorice root. And that gets you through the day, although your stamina will not be quite right.
So what about a couple of bees? What?
No. Now there's a cough involved with this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So what do you do about the cough? The cough can be it'll just rack you. It'll wreck you. It is awful.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you use any more of that, whatever that squirt stuff, I'm going to beat you over the head.
Squirt stuff? Oh, the chloroseptic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please
now, I haven't
don't.
even gotten there yet. Okay. But what you can do is use something called benzonatate. The Tessalon Pearls is the brand name on these things, but benzonatate is the way you're going to get it because most people get the generics because they're much less expensive. So the benzonatate helps with the cough. That's also a prescription. And the third thing is called naproxen. Why do you take naproxen? Because your interleukin 6 is going to go up, your CRP is going to go up. These are inflammatory cytokines, and you take the naproxen to knock it down a bit. There are other things that you have to do. Turmeric, you take twice a day, 3 times, 4 times a day, because it knocks down a different cytokine, tumor necrotic factor alpha. What else do you want to be taking? Okay, so there are a bunch of these things that you want to get available to you before you need them, because there's nothing worse than feeling sick and having to wait. Ginger root extract. I did not realize the value of ginger root until I got COVID. So my first symptom was anorexia. What happened was I didn't want to eat. I lost my appetite. Bad news, okay? When a guy says, I don't think I can finish my breakfast, that's my favorite meal of the day. Lunch.
Take it away.
Left it in my lunch. Yeah, right. I have a lunchbox.
Poor peasants.
I have this little lunchbox. Dexter's little lunchbox.
Right.
Couldn't really eat lunch. And so then I didn't test positive until that night and didn't start coughing until the following day. So the gastrointestinal symptoms are real and they're miserable. And so how do you deal with it? Colostrum works not just for the cold part of it, the upper respiratory, but also for the gut. So ginger root, and then I took something which is very controversial but was extraordinarily helpful for the 5 days I took it, and that was Plaquenil or hydroxyquinone. So what happened with that was that I went along with a French recommendation to do it for 5 days, and so I didn't feel bad for 5 days. When I ran out, I felt like hell.
Oh, boy. So we're talking about COVID. Doc's had COVID-19. He's now had his second vaccination, the booster, and we're explaining what to expect, what not to expect. And when we come back, we may just talk about crazy vaxxers.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, Karen, it's all about you. This is Connection Show. Stay tuned.
This is Connections, broadcasting live every night at 10 Eastern. Connections is Relationship Radio.
Improv comedy makes me sick because you act like it's totally improvisational when in fact it's formulas that you rehearse over and over and over again, and every night you pretend like you're making it up off the top of your head and then you laugh on stage to make it look real. I hate you. Do you hear me?
Kids, meet the jerkbag I work with.
Welcome back to the show.
Love it.
Relax and enjoy the show.
It's Connection Show. We do this for you whenever the heck we have a moment. Actually, it broadcasts live at 9 o'clock most Thursday nights on News Radio WFLA Orlando, and the podcasts are available on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Right.
Got hashtag Lizzie Said What. She's back at Universal Studios on a part basis, working her butt off.
That's me, boy.
Yep, you can be a Men in Black in that cute little outfit.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love. She has like this like white button down with the cute
Is that
tie.
right?
Yeah, it's fun.
And she looks like an FBI, like a Men in Black person. It's very cute. Yes, but do you have like the pen thing that?
Can't tell you.
At Universal.
Have to
Is that
kill
like
you.
the Men in Fuchsia over at Disney?
No, they're gone.
Oh.
The
Okay.
Men in, the Blue Men group is leaving. By the way, did you know?
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So
Well,
they're
what'd they have to say about that?
not much. That's Dr. David Klein from Stages of Life Medical Institute. Yes, he's here. He left his wife at home, and hopefully she's not listening.
No,
because
hopefully
he
the pool
referred
boy's
the
gone when I get home.
First wife. Yeah, really. Hello, Marco. Please leave. Anyway.
Oh, him.
But
Yeah.
we joke. About 4 weeks ago, Dr. Klein came in here bragging he got his COVID-19 vaccination, the first one. And then
The next day, what do you know? What do you want to suppose I found about it myself? Well, a little bit of deep introspection and a PCR later, I found that I had COVID.
So we got this call, which was kind of funny. Please, I get an email from this one. Seriously?
I was
Oh.
like, are you effing kidding me? I'm like, how is he a doctor and he comes in here coughing and spraying all over us?
Well, it wasn't spraying all over you. Just in
just all over my face.
selected
You're
areas.
so close. She could taste your cough drops.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. But which also,
It's the truth.
what it does is it goes to show something that I'd like to discuss.
Please.
Which is, what is the most likely way to get COVID?
Not that way,
Not
obviously.
that way. No. What do you? Okay, take a wild guess. Okay, and you'll probably get it because I've mentioned it before.
And I
But
need you
what
to.
are the?
I need people. I want people to listen to this because
is
I got
important.
into a keyboard warrior thing with somebody over this. How is the possibility that you're going to get it through the intestinal tract?
Okay, much greater through the GI tract. But what are the chances you're going to get it from a spouse? So you have a COVID positive spouse. How many of the non-infected spouses will come down with it? And the answer is 32%. So it's more likely than not that you're not going to infect your spouse. If this thing were so highly infectious, gee, if you walk by somebody, like the people running around in the moon suits out here, it's just a very, very unlikely possibility with a casual visit. It's just not going to happen. So where do you pick this up? And I will tell you where I got it from, but I won't mention the restaurant.
Polynesian ducks.
No, what I did is I got it from my wife and I went to the beach on New Year's Day, and on our way back we decided to break our routine.
You went and had Subway tuna fish, didn't you?
Not tuna fish. I went and
Good, 'cause
had.
it's not really tuna.
No. So, and it's just way too many calories. So, but I did have the what do you call it? Turkey and cheese. And she
Bland
didn't,
with
she
bland.
Didn't,
Order
she
of
didn't
bland
get the
on
cheese.
bland, please.
Right. Okay. and we both got sick. That's the only place that we went out at all the whole time. So getting things through restaurants and bars is the most likely way of getting it. And you're going to ask me, well, what about nursing homes? And I'm gonna just make an observation. Anybody who's ever had a parent or a grandparent in a nursing home, you can't find the nursing staff. Okay, so they're not out there smooching on mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. They're not doing it.
They're hiding in the back room on their phones.
Right, okay. Yeah, the nursing, they're just not doing it. So how are people getting it on cruise ships? How did they get it on cruise ships? How do they, and have they received it in nursing homes? And it's through the food service. So you've ever gone to a bar and sit at the bar and have yourself a beer, which I don't know if I'll ever do again, and you watch them wash the glasses? They dip it in this soapy water, they dip it in this water that's not quite so soapy, and then it gets dried off and put it on the shelf. Okay? Nobody with any sense would do that to their people at home.
Order a bottle.
Order a bottle, drink out of the bottle because you don't want to be drinking out of these glasses. Right. So where else are you going to get it? On the dishes, the plates, but the lettuce, the things that are not cooked. So the rule that I broke was when we went out, it wasn't eating out at a fast food joint. It was not eating hot food.
Doesn't that always happen? The one rule that you set, because all the years that I went clubbing, I would never take a drink from anybody. I would not, even if the bartenders handed it to me, I would never leave my drink. If I had a drink, it would stay in front of me. I would never even turn my head. It stayed in front of me. And the one time I had a radio remote for a pre-concert party over in Daytona, I was at a country station. I had a bottle of water. I set it on the table next to Shrek, thinking, okay, Shrek's standing there. Went up, went up, announced prizes, came back down that water, and within probably, I would say, X so many minutes, I was sloshed because they had put liquid G in my water when Shrek wasn't paying attention.
Okay, yeah,
So-
that happened to a buddy of mine's girlfriend over at a local watering hole.
Yeah.
And she really entertained a bunch of people in this place. It was well worth seeing.
I was quite entertaining
Until
as
she
well.
passed out.
Yeah.
She passed out.
So what your thing
Boom.
is whenever your body and your mind has taught you to not break routine for certain things, don't do it.
No, it's to
'Cause you
the
did,
point.
and that what
okay,
happened.
where I have gone to the men's room okay, carrying my beer, and you learn to become rather facile with handling different types of needs and not letting that beer out of your sight. Okay? It's less likely that somebody's going to hit me with GHB than you. However, but that's the way that it goes. So hot foods will work, but cold foods do not. You have to make sure that you look at the glassware, that it looks like it might have been washed this week. But in bars, they don't have dishwashers.
All right.
Okay, it's all done by hand and not done well. So you just have to be very careful with it. So I can speak with some degree of expertise here. I've had the disease. I didn't die from it. 1% chance of dying from it. I managed
pretty good odds.
Squeak by. Okay. I've had both doses of the injection. I've survived.
Yep.
Okay. And I've treated now. Okay, personally, okay, in my office, about 8,000 patients, of which a significant number of people have been have gotten sick. Not enough to really make it look like I'm a vector of the disease, but I've also been involved with the diagnosis in the laboratory of 50,000 others. 50,000 people. That's a lot.
That is a
lot.
lot.
I got a telephone call from Orange County. They want me to do another 200 out of another draw station down there because we can get the results out for COVID in 24 hours. And there's nobody in the country that can do it. So it's fascinating. But with the degree of expertise, with the experience, you come up with certain conclusions. And they're not always in full agreement with what you hear on television. So I was watching Fox News, which is my preferred news station. And so I was watching the professor from Langone Medical Center, NYU, and he's going on about, we're working on being able to figure out how much antibodies in your blood, so we might be able to figure out whether you have immunity or not. I'm thinking, if you'd listened to me on the damn station, which I had done, we actually have been able to do that for 6 months. Okay, but there's nobody answering the phone. So I want you to imagine for a second. So you're sitting in your backyard, and a flying saucer comes down from Mars. Okay, who are you going to call? All right, nobody's answering the phone. You can't call the DOH. You can't call. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters?
I hear you.
There's nobody is listening.
I hear you. No one's answering the damn phones.
Nobody out there. And then if you do reach somebody, they don't care. So it's very frustrating having the key to somebody else's roller skates. Okay, you got the roller skate, you can't get it on or you can't get it off. Here's the key. I can't get my roller skate on. Here's the key. Well, I need, and you hear all kinds of nonsense, and pretty soon you pack your lunch up and go eat someplace else. And that's kind of the lesson that I've learned with this. So we've been doing all kinds of cool research. Because why? Because I was an analytical chemist and I've got my own equipment. That doesn't happen real often. So we're doing PCRs, lots of them. We'll do 2,000 or 3,000 per
Explain
day.
what PCR is.
It's polymerized chain reaction. This is what you see when you're watching NCI. The goofy tattooed girls in there running all these machines. We're going to identify this person's DNA. Good luck. Okay. But what we'll do is we'll do those 2,000 times a day to identify viruses and bacteria. Okay. So you'll spend all day long trying to figure one person out, and we'll get 2,000, 3,000 done in a day. So what does it tell you? It gives you the identity. So you have a positive PCR. There is much more data in that machine if you weren't so damn dense. Okay? So the machine will operate. It takes a sample, and it doubles the amount of RNA in this case, but it could be DNA. You double it. And then you take it again, and you double it again. And you take it again, and double it again, and double it again, and double it again, 39 times.
Oh.
However, when and where it turns positive tells you how much virus is in the
Right. That's actually really interesting.
This is very cool.
So we will talk about that on the other side of this quick break. You're listening to Connection Show. Dr. David Klein is with us from Stages of Life Medical Institute.com in Longwood. We'll be right back.
This is Connections.
Breakfast time! I made your favorite.
Look, it's a manwich.
That's a manwich.
More than a meal.
What's wrong with these stupid people? It's like they're idiots or something. Big fat friggin' dumbass idiots.
Connections. Broadcasting live every night at 10 Eastern.
That's right, on ConnectionShow.com. You can catch us there if you like. Otherwise, right now we're doing the radio show, the podcast, the broadcast. I am Melissa Fox with 2 X's. Hashtag Lizzie said, what
That's
is with
me.
us? What have you been dropping lately? I know you were all up in the McRib. What's the latest thing?
I don't have anything right now.
What?
Well, okay, the McRib was horrible
They changed the
last
sauce
year.
this year.
They changed the sauce. I only had 2 McRibs this last season. Yes, they were actually begging people to take it the other day online. I was like,
Right.
I
McRib?
don't you give it to me free? No.
Get the fish sandwich.
They
Yeah.
shrunk. It's
They
so
shrunk.
Oh,
They're
they all
they're
shrink.
This big.
No,
They
the
all
fish
shrink.
sandwich is like a snack now.
They all shrink.
but it
It's-
used to be
yeah.
a big
It used to be
mama.
huge.
It's called package to price.
Oh, I
Right.
understand. Yeah,
But
well,
and then the eggnog, and then that's gone, and so
we a Shamrock Shake kind of gal?
I don't know.
No.
I
maybe not
mean,
this year.
is it minty?
Is Bucky's? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, no, and I don't know what's going on with Bucky's, but they need to hurry up and finish being built for 5 years now in Daytona.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she's been excited and let
They're
that and up
disappointed.
and down.
Go to,
up
what's
and
it
down.
called?
And-
Five Guys? They make a pretty decent burger.
Do they?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
like
they're
them?
real
Yeah, they
good.
do. They're
yeah,
good.
but and the thing about it is it's real meat.
Yeah, and
Okay.
their wieners are good too.
They're-
Yeah, the fries are really good. You know, the dusty fries, and of course they have the whole peanut thing.
It works.
Yeah,
it's a good.
It works. It's a good product. It's a little pricey.
It's a little pricey, but at least you're getting real meat.
Right.
I'm like-
So not this soy burger crap that you're getting. You
Yeah,
know,
at other
It's like
places.
fat girl depression time of year.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
it?
there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
We'll have
really
a fat
to
girl
eat.
feeding frenzy soon. You
Ooh.
and me.
All
well,
right.
when I
we
was
got it.
single, I used to look for those.
Yeah, no,
Why? Because why?
Look at her belly up.
Why
Yeah.
work hard when
No
you can
confidence there.
All
Yeah,
I
you-
gotta do is
you-
buy her a meal. That's
you
it.
nail the easy ones.
You can call
Yeah.
her late night too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's a
speaking
very
of that-
practical guy.
Yeah, anyway, so we've been talking about the vaccines, and before we went to the break, you started talking about the PCR test and how
Yeah.
the varying degrees that you can find of how much COVID infection.
And the consumers haven't a clue. You know, they talk, well,
Yeah.
I've got this particular conspiracy here. And the testing is the biggest sham. Okay, many of the testing centers do single gene DNA or RNA testing for COVID. In order to know that you have the disease, the gold standard is to do 3 gene testing, which is what we do.
Okay.
Not the cheap stuff, and the cost is the same to the customer. The cost is the same.
Oh.
So if you're positive for all 3 genes, you've got active disease. But let's say that you're throwing it, you're fighting it off. You may find remnants of 2 or 1. You are not infectious necessarily at that point. So what we found is that if we tracked PCRs, you turn positive, and then you not only do it once, but you do it sequentially over every week to 10 days or so, you can track the PCR positivity cycle up and then down. So what does this mean?
What does it mean?
Okay, so if you double the amount of product in each vessel 39 times, you end up with an enormous amount. It makes it real easy to test. But the machine turns off the analysis for any particular sample as soon as it turns positive.
Okay.
And then using just a little bit of intellect here, not a lot, okay, you can then work backwards to see what the original amount of virus was, knowing the lower limit of detection of your machine. So it's an inverse of the log to the root 2. It's not that hard to figure it out. So at the lower number of PCR cycles, you're much more infectious. So we can get within 15% of the amount of virus that's present.
Okay,
but-
Lizzie glazed for just a
I
second.
glazed over because I'm like,
Why?
how I'm Jane Doe. I don't know none of this, so how am I going to know what my PCRs are?
No,
And
so
so
just-
do I ask
okay.
my doctor?
Well, the doctor's not necessarily going to know either. Okay, so I mean, you think I'm
He's a
kidding?
doctor.
It doesn't matter. No,
He's referring to the
genius.
other doctors.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you. So in any event, so my wife and I have an issue. Okay, and that's that she and I both got sick at the same time. She went and had her hair work done and gave COVID when she called.
Oh
you,
no, she did that too.
Yeah.
What?
So okay, so she called you guys up to say, oh, you know, this could be a problem.
Hey.
That's how I heard my text.
Having known that she exposed her hairdresser and subsequently her hairdresser's husband.
Oh no.
And so what we've done, I've been tracking myself with mine, Tessa's with hers, plus the hairdresser and her husband.
Right.
And you can track where the PCR cycles go positive and when they start to trail off. So originally, the guy, his PCR, his cycle was 11.
Yeah.
Okay. And hers, I think, was 18 or 17, which means that she has 10,000 times roughly more virus being shed than, he had
He did.
10,000 times
Right.
more than she did. So she gave it to him. He's ramping up. Right now, they're both at PCR cycle 31 and 33. what I found, okay, is that at 31 to 33, the amount of virus that's in the mucus, or in the let's just say the nose, okay,
Phlegm in the snot.
the
yes.
snot, okay, is at about 3,000 particles per ml, which is the limit of detection for the antigen study. So the antigen studies that you can get at the local pharmacies, oh well, it's negative. You are still infectious, right? Until this thing hits 39. So it usually takes 2 or 3 days after you get to 30 before you'll go negative with it.
So should anybody be concerned about getting the second round of shots? Like, should people, because, the rumors are out there, let's go ahead and cut these rumors. Should you be worried? Should you be upset? Should you be concerned?
Okay, the main barrier to get this is your ability to get in line and get signed up.
Right.
If you get the first one, they're going to sign you up for the second
right
one.
then
It
and there.
is very easy.
They send you an invite after you already signed up for the first one to
Right.
sign up for the second.
If you are goofy enough not to get the second one to finish this thing off,
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. But there'll be somebody right behind you with their arm rolled up.
Right.
Okay, so this is going to be survival of the fittest, and the fittest doesn't necessarily mean the most physically fit.
Right.
Okay.
Use your
So
brain.
get it.
Get
All
it.
And I'm hearing that we're still being forced to wear masks even after the second dose of the vaccine.
Even after I have to wear a mask.
Okay.
Okay. I can tell you what my antibody level is. My IgG antibody makes me immune.
Okay.
Right? My IgM antibody is still present.
However-
I am immune. And I've got the shot twice, and I still have to wear a mask. Why?
Why?
Okay, because that's what they
Because
say.
of Alyssa.
Because it makes other people unhappy to see you walk around with a mask. And then, frankly, I don't like explaining things to people. It's none of their business.
Okay.
Well, you're not wearing a mask. Ma'am, we're outside. Well, you're still not wearing a mask. I'm still outside.
Right.
So it's turned into a religion. It's turned into a class warfare. It has turned into nonsense. We suffered a civil war in the 1860s, and 600,000 Americans died. We really lamented that for a long time. By this time next month, there will be 600,000 dead Americans from COVID. And we're arguing about rolling our sleeve up. You are not, in my humble opinion, okay, and I'm entitled to my opinion, you're not much of an American, okay, if you're not willing to do what I consider, most people consider, the patriotic duty, and that's to protect the people around you. So 12 years in uniform, I got plenty of shots that I didn't want to get.
I got
because
scars
that
from
was
shots.
Yeah, because that was what was necessary to put that uniform on and go where you needed to go to
Right.
take care of people. And as a physician, it's the same thing. You can't find an open GP's office these days.
All right, so work on getting the vaccine. Okay, for more information, if you're here in Florida, check out myvaccine.fl.gov. And of course, your regular county health department first. Okay? Dr. Dave, always a pleasure.
My pleasure indeed, and it's always good to be here and see you guys.
Yeah, check out stagesoflifemedicalinstitute.com. Lizzie.
Good night.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. We love you. Mean it. See ya.
Laughing time is over.